Hi, I'm Mike, founder of GoodBed.com. Today we're going to do a short video that's really designed for people who've already made the decision that the Brooklyn Signature mattress is the right one for them, but maybe you're just trying to figure out which softness level to choose. So we're excited to show you all three of these options. Stick around. So the first thing you ought to know is that if you have not yet decided that the Brooklyn Signature mattress is the right one for you, we have done a full in-depth review of the medium version of this mattress, and you're definitely going to want to check that out first. So we're not going to repeat all the stuff that we did in that to test the various features and attributes of this mattress. We're only going to focus in this video on what is different between the firm, medium, and soft options. So let's start by talking about how they vary up these feels in terms of the insides and the construction of these mattresses. So really, there's a few different ways that they can create different feels on these mattresses, and none of it has anything to do with the coils. The coil unit is going to be identical on all three of these options. So everything that is different is going to be above the coils, and really specifically is going to involve either the quilt or the Titan Flex layer right below the quilt, or the transition layer, and sometimes some combination thereof, all three of these. So specifically, the firm uses a little bit different style of quilt. You can visually see it is different than the other two, the medium and the soft. It seems to have a little bit less quilt foam overall and just has a totally different pattern that really is designed to give it a firmer feel. The soft does have the softest quilt, but the pattern that visually looks the same as the medium. Now in terms of the Titan Flex layer, which is the foam right below the quilt on all three of these mattresses, they actually have three different formulations of that foam, and they're able to use the firmest in the firm, the middle one in the medium, and the softest in the soft. And the last way they vary up the feels is with the transition layer, and here's where the soft really uses its own thing. Just like the firm kind of had its own quilt, the soft has its own transition layer that is just a little bit of a softer version of that same transition foam. So in terms of the feels that you're going to get from these differences in construction, the main differences are going to be in terms of the amount of softness you're going to experience, as well as the amount of cushioning depth you're going to get on these mattresses. And if you haven't seen any of our videos before, cushioning depth is basically the difference between sleeping in your mattress and sleeping on your mattress. And in this case, I'm going to actually start with the medium, since that is the one that we did an in-depth review of. And in that case, you'll notice that we did rate it as a medium soft on our softness spectrum, meaning just to the softer side of medium. And in fact, it was actually towards the firmest end of that classification, so pretty darn close to medium. And what we found when we tested this one is that it's just a smidge firmer than that one, so we actually classify it as a medium on our softness spectrum, even though the difference is kind of less than half a point in terms of our quantitative scale. But nonetheless, it pushes it into a different classification, and I didn't want there to be any confusion about that. And we do think that this is accurate representation of what they're putting out there today, so we are going to update overall our classification for this model. Now that being said, I do want to note that it is possible that the difference in softness that we are noting here could have something to do with this cover. We are testing this version with the Glaciotex cover, as Brooklyn calls it, which is essentially their cooling upgrade cover. The previous version we tested did not have that, so it's possible that the difference in cover just slightly changes the overall softness that you're experiencing on this mattress, enough that would explain the difference that we are experiencing. And with this medium level of softness, we'd also say that the cushioning depth on this model is likewise right in the middle of our spectrum on that metric as well. So you're going to get a little bit of that hugged or cradled sensation, but also a little bit of that floating above your mattress sensation, kind of a blend of both. So now, turning our attention over to the firm model, this one we would classify as a medium firm on our softness spectrum. So it is just a little bit firmer than the medium model. Where it differs even more so, though, is in the amount of cushioning depth. You're definitely going to sink into this mattress less. It's definitely not going to have as much conformance to your curves and your pointy parts, particularly like your shoulders when you're sleeping on your side, as an example. So basically, we would classify this as having shallower than average cushioning depth. Now, switching over to the soft model, this would be where we see the biggest jump in this lineup, because we would classify that one as a soft on our softness spectrum. So that's actually 2 steps above the medium, because it skips past medium soft. And as likewise, in terms of the cushioning depth, it's kind of the opposite of the firm. You're going to get deeper than average cushioning on this one. So you're definitely going to have more of that hugged or cradled sensation on the soft model and not really any of that floating above your mattress sensation. Now, in terms of which types of people are going to be the best fit for these models from a spinal alignment standpoint, let's start with the firm model. This one is going to be a standout for stomach sleepers. Stomach sleeping is the position where the main thing you want to avoid is that your hips sink too far into the mattress, because that will cause overarching of your back when you're on your stomach and will surely lead to back pain. I really don't expect that you're likely to have an issue with that overarching when sleeping on your stomach on the firm model. And on top of that, the little bit of quilting that there is on this model is going to be perfect for kind of giving you a little bit of pressure relief in some of the tender parts of your body, like your insides of your elbows or your knees, which sometimes can get pressure points when sleeping on your stomach on a really firm mattress. And on the flip side of that, I generally wouldn't recommend this firm model for side sleepers, although there are certainly firmer models out there. So if you really do like firm mattresses, and particularly maybe if you're a side sleeper that isn't particularly curvy, then maybe this could be the kind of firm model that you could get away with. Now, since I'm talking about side sleepers, that brings me to the soft model. The soft model, generally speaking, I would highly discourage for a stomach sleeper for the same reasons I just described. But for side sleepers, it could be a really good option, particularly if you're on the lighter side. This has a lot of softness and a lot of cushioning depth. It definitely allows some conformance for your pointier parts, like your shoulders and your hips, for example. I do think if you're a heavier side sleeper, it might be too soft. So if you're average or lighter side sleeper, I do think that this soft version of the mattress could be the right choice for you, particularly if you are curvier and really need that conformance. And I might also want to mention pressure relief here, because this soft model is probably going to have the best pressure relief of the three as well, and that again is a particularly important benefit for side sleepers. And lastly, that brings me back to the medium, which is the one I'm on now. And this is certainly going to be the most versatile of the three. So if you are a combination sleeper, for example, this is probably going to be a better option for you, particularly if you go back and forth between your side and your stomach. And likewise, if you're a back sleeper, I think back sleepers in general need a little bit of a middle ground. You want enough softness to conform to that lumbar curve, but not so much that you are hammocking on the mattress, which I do think could be an issue for some people on the soft version, for example. So the medium is going to be a middle ground that's going to be good for a lot of back sleepers, as well as accommodating enough for many side sleepers and even lighter stomach sleepers. So there you have it. I hope you found this to be a really helpful guide to choosing the right Brooklyn Signature mattress for you. If you are serious about this mattress, I would highly recommend not only looking at our full in-depth review of this mattress, but also going to our website, GoodBed.com, and using our comparison feature, which lets you easily compare all of the different features and characteristics of these mattresses side by side, not only with one another, but with other mattresses that you may be considering. So definitely check that out. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and we really hope you sleep well.